Special issues on April the 19th. Ms. Smith?
Here.
Ms. Gear? Here. Here. Dr. Alawan? Counselor Sims?
Here.
And Counselor Andrews?
She's here.
All present.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes as presented by Ms. Salter and dispense with the reading?
So moved.
Second. All right. Motion from Mr. Sims, second from Ms. Gear. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. That is 5-0 to dispense with the reading of the minutes and approve them. Okay, we're going to run through the old business really quick because I think they're all carryovers. 17-10-15, request for consideration of noise and odor problems from Buffalo Rock and Mayfield Barbers. I had a text from Mike at Buffalo Rock this morning that I forwarded to Mr. Wolverton and some of the neighbors. I don't know if there were any odor problems. I didn't hear from anybody, so maybe there weren't.
I didn't either,
Yeah, I'm hoping that didn't happen. And I've got to get in touch with Ron Thompson because I owe him a phone call, and I will do that. But for tonight, we are carrying that one over. 150221, request for a report from Jetty Trip on the Citizens Portal, Brian Wallace. Brian and I talked about this earlier, and there's really nothing new tonight for him to go over. There will be some more things, so we're going to keep this on the agenda. But as of tonight, we are going to carry that one over without objection. And 231020, request for presentation by VIA regarding microtransit system. Counselor Harden and Mr. Sims have been working on this as well. I think I probably am derelict because I don't think I did the survey. I totally meant to, and I'm still going to, but I'm just like, life has been spinning out of control. So gonna get that done. So for anybody else who's as bad as me, go ahead and see if you can do the link for the survey that Mr. Sims sent to us, that Counselor Sims sent to us, to help them kind of know if we're asking the right questions. And then we'll get that live. Yeah?
I'll just add to you, so there were some recommended changes that came in, so those are now updated on the survey that came in from counselors, as well as we had a question with RPC about if, in addition to doing the survey web-based, if we do it paper-based, how are we going to do the section where it basically has the person identify where they live or the approximate geographic area, and so that question will just be changed that they can put the intersection closest to them. Okay. So we can do a paper-based version of the survey as well, which I think will help in our specific outreach to make sure that it's getting to the people who are most likely to use the service. Yeah. And so hopefully, we can move towards doing something like that soon. I don't know if it'll work to take advantage of like We Love Homewood Day or some other opportunity like that to do outreach, but that would be an option if we wanted to.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. When we were talking before COVID about trying to reach out to people about the census, we talked about We Love Homewood Day and other public large events that you kind of tend to see a pretty diverse group of folks. So I think that'd be a great idea. And since Mr. Squires is here, hey Berkeley, are we going to have the kind of the fair section of We Love Homewood Day? Are we going to have the tables set up and stuff in the park?
It'll be limited to rides and all to certain things, kind of steal people over the social distancing.
Yeah.
And we cut down a few of the amount of vendors that we're going to have.
Okay.
And all, but other than that, everything will be, just like it's been in the past.
You think we can get a table?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. Well, then that would be a great plan then. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
You may.
It's kind of a, Madam Chairman. We spend a lot of money on the BJCTA.
We do.
And we're not going to get any money from the Community Foundation for this. They've already stated that to me. Do we see the opportunity at some point for these guys to take over? Because I know that we'd save money and we'd get better service.
Well, I think the question becomes, without BJCTA, you don't have the Magic City Connector, you don't have the set routes, and there's a lot of people that use those set routes to get to work at places like Walmart and things like that. I'm not sure it's a situation where VIA replaces BJCTA, at least not in my particular point of view. I mean, I would love to think that there would be another option for people, and perhaps it would reduce the cost of BJCTA in some way. But I think it's unrealistic to think that a private, personal, like, short-term transport service could replace what BJCTA does, in my view, but.
So really just quick and follow up to that, from my understanding, BJCTA is kind of looking at improving the effectiveness of their service. So they're maybe going to reduce the number of fixed routes that are available, which in order to put their buses on, specific routes and run more often. And as a result, there'll be a need to kind of pick up some service in those areas where they're no longer going to have fixed routes. So micro-transit or VIA could be an opportunity to supplement, where there's no longer fixed route service.
And I sat in on a phone call with the BJCTA board about a month and a half ago, and they were very much doing strategic planning for how they're moving into the future, and that was one of the things they said. They really want to make their pickups more reliable and more frequent, because that's been a complaint that they've gotten a lot of time, is people waiting long times for pickups in various places. So I think there's going to be a concentration on that, and again, I think VIA is an option as a kind of, it will, like you said, it'll supplement what BJCTA does, but I don't think they replace what BJCTA does.
Madam Chairwoman,
Yes.
I had a quick question. If there's a way to perhaps reach out to potential employers as partners in a public-private partnership to make sure that if there are folks who commute to the city for work, that we can have those folks fill out the survey and make sure, because I'm not sure, we can have people at the We Love Homewood Day, but are those the folks really that are going to use the service? And if there are ways that we can target potential employees who could use the service, can we partner with employers to see if we can have them fill out the survey?
Yeah, I mean, I think we could definitely work with some of the employers where we know people have used, and we can probably get some of that information from BJCTA if they'll share it with us, about where you see those people getting on and off bus routes. I mean, I know we've had several people who've come to meetings in the past for complaints about problems with pickups and things like that, so we might be able to reach out to them and see, if their employer would be willing to. I mean, because, if we, like you said, if we worked with some employers, maybe they were able to get the surveys out to their employees, that would probably be a good help with a different group of people. Yeah. All right, so that sounds good. We will work on that. And Mr. Sims, maybe we can figure out some of those places that might be able to help us connect with some employers, some employees to do some surveys.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
and so I guess in closing that conversation, then, as we have a strategy for outreach, then at what point do we just essentially need to determine a date where we say, okay, let's make this survey active and then go forward. So, yeah.
Well, I think, so We Love Homewood Day is May 1st. Is that right, Berkeley? Yeah. So I would say in the next 2 weeks, we probably need to hammer it down, which means I need to do what I'm supposed to do. But yeah, I'd say let's target April 30th.
Okay.
I mean, that might not give them enough time, maybe earlier that week instead of the day before. But yeah, I'd say let's shoot for the last week of April to get it settled. All right. So with that, we will carry that one over.
Is that target April 30th for the surveys to be
Just
done?
that week of April 30th.
Okay.
I think waiting till April 30th is probably a little waiting too late. Okay. New business. 02/04/21, public hearing set for April 26, 2021 at 6 p.m. for consideration of a variance to the sign ordinance to add one additional wall sign at 2713 18th Street South, West Daniel Sign Company, Wyatt Pugh, BEZ. And I see our infamous Mr. Cobb has
Hello.
graced us.
It's nice to see everybody again. For the record, Greg Cobb, 1310 Palmetto Street. This sign actually came up over a year ago, and at that time we were under the old sign ordinance, and so it fit the old sign ordinance, except that they want a double sign. They want one on each side of that tall. It's not a pylon, which I thought it was at first. It's actually the chimney for the freestanding fireplace out there. So the simple request is really a secondary sign that fit under the old sign ordinance at the time the request was made. And that's why I'm here, is because
So you
I'm
were here.
I'm the guy that did it.
Okay, so essentially, just for those of you who haven't figured that out, this is for the Edgar's property?
Yes, and we have a picture of it.
Oh, there we
it
go.
is.
Yeah. So essentially what you're saying is there's going to be a sign on either side of the
Yes.
chimney?
I made that picture last week. It looks just like that. It fit size-wise by the sign ordinances in place at the time, and it's gonna put one on the other side. That's all it is.
So this is a number sign variance as opposed
It's
to?
a secondary sign.
Secondary sign.
And height, yes. Height of the letters under the old sign ordinance.
Okay,
The new sign ordinance is different. but
okay.
the
So,
time it
so how big
submitted,
are the
that's what it
letters?
was.
How big are
Yes.
the letters?
I think they're limited. White spoke to this last week.
The new letters are only allowed 24 inches tall.
Okay. So it's 24 inches is what's allowed now, and that is how much? I can't.
About 5 feet.
When you measure the whole outside sound of letters, the way
Right.
you measure is 24 inches.
Okay,
Exactly.
okay. All
So
right.
that's what the request is.
Okay, all right. Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Cobb and/or Mr. Pugh while they're standing here?
I thought we had already approved the number of signs changed. Did we already approve that?
No.
Oh, okay, I thought we.
No. No, this is it. All right. Any questions? All right. This is set for a public hearing for next Monday night. So the appropriate motion would be to send it out of committee without recommendation pending the public hearing on Monday night.
I will move to send
Thank
it
you
out
very
without
much.
recommendation pending the public hearing.
All right, so motion for Ms. Andrus,
Second.
second for Mr. Allamon. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right, 5-0 to send that one out to council for next Monday night for this public hearing. And thank you, Mr. Cobb, for coming in. It's good to see you too.
everybody.
Yeah. All right, moving on to our next item, 030421, public hearing set for April 26, 2021 at 6 PM for consideration of a side yard fence setback variance at 200 Morris Boulevard. Sarah Hefner and Wyatt Pugh. Well, hello, Dr. Hefner.
Special, there it is, yeah.
Yes.
Thank goodness they were smart enough to put Sarah's name.
Yes. Yeah, if y'all don't mind signing in, and then, Wyatt, you want to tell us a little bit? I know that there are pictures, that
Yes.
Brian has. There we go.
There we go.
All right.
I made a little mock-up picture of what,
Yeah.
roughly. Because they're on a corner, the fence ordinance requires a 15-foot setback in the secondary front yard. What they've proposed to do is you can visualize here in this little diagram I've made up. The city right-of-way extends about 3.5 feet in from the curb. Roughly 3.5 feet in from that is where they are proposing to put the fence. That is, if it lines up with the other fence like they're proposing to do, correct? So I've calculated that as an 11.5-foot variance request.
Okay.
11.5.
Yes.
All right, because it's 6.5-ish feet off the right-of-way, right? Off the
Yeah,
curb.
that's okay. Exactly right. yeah.
Okay. And the fence will come to the, I see that, up to the corner of the front corner, oh, not up to the front corner of the house, but to the side of the house, near the corner. And then it goes all the way around the back. Is that right? Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions for the Hefners?
And
Yes.
this is kind of a rough estimate based on where the old fence is in the back and extending that line forward.
Okay.
So if you wanted to grant a variance that was maybe a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, I mean, 11.5 is what I came up with.
Okay, so maybe 12 feet, just to be safe.
I think 12 feet would be
Okay.
a safe.
Okay. All right. Again, this is set for a public hearing for next Monday night. And so again, the appropriate motion would be to move it out of committee without a recommendation pending that public hearing on Monday.
So moved.
Motion from Ms. Andrus, second from Mr. Sims. Huh?
Second.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, I totally was giving it to Nick anyway, because I was like, well, I don't think you can do that. But I appreciate your support.
Yeah, I was about to say, extra support,
All right. All right, so motion from Ms. Andrus, second from Mr. Sims. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, all right. So that will be in public hearing next Monday night. That's it. All right, our final item
Thanks, y'all.
is.
Thank you all.
Sure, thank y'all. 10:04:21, request for consideration of a tent variance for Trinity Methodist Vacation Bible School, brought by myself and Miss Andrus. And hello, we've got Susan St. John from Trinity, who can give us a little bit, just for a little bit of background information. This is going to be the same tent size and placement, or is it going to be in a different place? And placement.
Same placement.
That we approved for Night in Bethlehem, and in the past for Discovery Weekend as well.
That's great.
So,
I'm sorry, can you give me your name? I missed it.
Susan St. John.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
all right.
So, sure, we have a tent company who provides our 40-foot by 100-foot tent that we'd like placed. We just did one for Night in Bethlehem in December, and we're just requesting to have the same tent company deliver the same tent and setup for this July for our Vacation Bible School. So it'll be up for a week, 7 days. So they'll set up on the Friday before, and they will come and take it down the Friday
Okay.
following.
You know the date.
July 22nd,
Yeah, I
I
was about to say,
believe.
I have that email pulled up.
Sorry, I should know that off the top of my head.
Well,
July 19th
through 22nd.
through 22nd.
Yeah.
Who's it? 22nd?
19 through 22nd.
The full week, the tent will be,
Install it before?
Hold on.
yeah, the full week will be July 16th, which is the Friday before,
Okay.
that they'll set up, and then they'll take down on July 23rd. So Friday to Friday.
And this is in the small parking lot
On
on the
Seminole.
Seminole side of the church. So
Good.
it's on the church property. It's just, they have to
Correct.
get in there and set it up early and then take it down.
Correct.
And then will you go to the city to have Seminole closed again, or will you have that road closed as the kids are?
Perhaps, I don't know any further information on that. I think this is the first time we've had a tent for VBS, so I don't think we've gotten that far with road closures.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions about tent? If not, can I get a motion?
I move to approve.
All right. Motion to
Second.
approve from Ms. Andrus, second from Mr. Allamon. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That will be 5-0, so.
Great. Thank you.
That, unless anyone has any questions, we are adjourned.